So the neat thing here is focus on your primary three big leaks. You can watch good video content. Like I said, most of this step is really geared for more of the micro and small stakes players. Um, some mid stakes players will find good information here. Just the video content, some of these other things they'll likely be aware of. You can track your history. There's also a simple mode if you just want to see it in a statistical layout mode instead of all these fancy graphs and stuff. You can do that. Step three, like I said, is a very similar thing, except it's going to show you each position of the table. Now, if you're playing full ring, don't get confused. Um, Early position is the first couple of positions, another gun plus one, so on. Middle position is a couple of seats again. Um, and including the hijack, and then the cutoff and the button. It's laid out in a 6 max format, but it applies to both. Um, and you can also again go into an advanced mode here, which looks exactly like step two. You can see your line graphs. You can click on areas and look at any of the content that's here. Also in these steps, you can click on this movie button and just sort through and look at any of the video content as you want. You can add subtitles um, as you uh, as you see fit, along with different languages as well. Um, Step four is going to show you a graphical representation of many common plays, and then look for patterns in your play that you commonly do pre-flop. Like one of the leaks that was in step one was this open raising ace deuce suited through ace nine suited in early position. I have the same leak here. Leak Buster is going to talk about it and show it here, and then I also have it in my step one simple mode here as a step 5 leak. So if I go back to here and in a decent sample size, I can see I'm losing 761 big blinds per 100 with ace 8 suited, and ace 7 suited 133, 130 with ace 3 suited over decent sample size. So that's definitely an ace 5 here, 733 big blinds per 100. So that's definitely something I'm going to want to adjust to. Start opening a few different hands, open a little bit less. Um, and I can cut out a significant part of those leaks. So I can look a little more in depth here, go through the different positions and some of the different plays. So if you spend some time and you go through each of these positions, you're going to find some leaks that you didn't know existed. From my own personal experience, even though I created the software myself, and I'm a winning player that's played at most stake levels, I found leaks in my own game in a step I didn't know existed, didn't know coaches even told me, or anything else. And the reason is, and I know how to go through and look at database information as well. The reason is because LeakBuster is taking many different kinds of queries and looking for patterns and taking those into algorithms to assess when a leak is a leak. Because one of the tricky things is, how do you know when a leak really is a leak? And that's what LeakBuster is trying to simplify and do for you. And the other thing is, if you do kind of know what you're looking for and you go in your database, you're going to spend so much time sorting through that versus one click here. So you have to think about it in terms of how much time do I want to try spending on my own analysis. I will tell you, you're still not going to find the same information that you're going to find here. Really, it's very difficult. Not impossible, just difficult and time consuming. So step 5, your trouble hands. This is going to be looking at common hands that most small and micro stakes players struggle with. And even mid and high stakes players are going to find some things here, but it really was a little bit more geared towards small and micro stakes players. Hands that commonly cause trouble when you cold call, when you're the pre-flop raiser, when you're in position, when you're out of position. Again, LeakBuster is going to take these are 4 different hand groupings. It'll tell you what those are right here. It's ace 10 offsuit to queen 10 offsuit here, deuce deuce 2 5 5. it'll take these different groups, it'll look for patterns, and then it'll point out certain things that you are doing that are costing you money, and basically tell you don't do them anymore, and some ways to kind of correct those, along with general suggestions. So it's a very simple and straightforward step. You can also click on any of the hands here, bring them up into your replayer, go through and review some of your biggest losses based on the plays and the advice that LeakBuster is giving you here. Step 6 is kind of a nice little step to play around with. It gives you a good graphical overview of some of the 3-bet and 4-bet pots. On the left hand side here, it'll give you some feedback about specific kinds of plays in 3-bet pots. 3-betting with non-premium, suited connectors, and again, LeakBuster is going to run several different analysis and give you feedback based on that particular filter, some of the things it thinks that you're struggling with. And then this bottom part here will take a few different comparison filters, like one play versus another, how you're doing with those. So when you 3-bet deuce deuce through 5-5 from the blinds to a steal versus cold call with it, which we don't typically want to be doing, it's going to highlight those. And here it's telling you with the second filter you're showing losses. With the first filter you're doing okay, but the second one is causing a loss. So here you know right away, and LeakBuster will also tell you that in writing form over here, that you want to avoid cold calling this situation. So you can run through a number of these, and this is also a really good step just to click and periodically check, because again, this is where most people lose a good deal of money. Step 7 is a very important and interesting step. There is a whole list of different filters here, all sorts of different kinds of pre and post flop scenarios, how you're playing suited, unsuited connectors, how you've done when you've called a flop c-bet raise with an overpair, top pair, c-betting with no hand, double barreling with air, no draws, 3-bet squeezing without a premium hand, calling 3-bets without ace queen or 10 10 plus, flop floats, naked flop floats, bluffing river, several different post flop lines that people commonly take, um, snap off bluffs, bet, bet, and call, things of that nature. Um, and you can click on any of the filters. It'll load up how your statistics are. It'll give you a video. Every single filter has a video explaining about the filter and some of the things you should look to do if you're struggling with that filter. Here it'll show you how your stats are, and then also show you where you are in terms of the results of other winning players. So if you have a lot of green, you're doing well in this particular area of your game, heads up on the flop. If not, then it's definitely some area that you're going to want to look at. And again, all this always goes back to step 1, but here you can play around with this quite a bit and really investigate a lot of plays and lines you might take. Ton of value here in this step, really for any level player. So step 8 is an analysis of the biggest losing pots and some of the plays that are costing you the most money. It's again a very in-depth analysis of pre and post flop play, and it's looking for specific things. It's looking for betting patterns, making sure that you are betting enough when you have value or when you should be sizing your bets differently, missed opportunities where there's possible bluffing spots, spots where you're bluffing that are really not ideal at all, several different things, and it's letting you know street by street exactly some of the issues that you're having, and it provides video content also for ways to really adjust your game to make more profitability. Any level player is going to find value here. Again, it's mostly micro, small, but even some of the higher stakes players are going to find certain patterns. They're not going to get as much info from the videos, but there might be things that they weren't totally aware of that they should investigate a little bit further, and this really will highlight it very easily for you. Step 9 is an opponent analysis. It's designed to just quickly and easily show you all of the opponents that are giving you the most difficulty, meaning the ones that you're losing to the most, and using Leakbuster's ranges show you areas that you can potentially exploit your opponent. From a player perspective, there were certain opponents that always gave me a lot of difficulty. I wanted one simple area where I could just see, okay, well, are they doing this or that too much or not enough? This is a very simple way you can do that. You can review their hands. You can make notes really easily using the replayer in there, and it's a great tool for trying to break down some people that you see commonly at your table. Step 10 is just a video. This was mainly designed for micro and small stakes players. Mid stakes players might get some info from kind of how to set up HUDs, but most of it is about kind of how to use HUD stats. There's also a module that breaks down kind of why and what kind of stats you'd be looking to use, and then there's also Leakbuster HUDs, which are color coded and are designed to really show you areas where your opponent is doing something a little bit too much or not enough, and then hopefully you can turn that information into exploiting their game and making more money. And that, in a nutshell, is basically what Leakbuster does. Um, in step 1, advanced mode, you can't see it here on the screen, but there's a members area at the bottom of this screen that has past workshops that break down Leakbuster in much more detail than this video does. It goes into every step, really how to use it, how to get the most out of it. It goes through all the different buttons and everything, because there's even more than kind of what I went through quickly here. But I wanted to do a video that gave people who were considering getting Leakbuster, weren't too sure, really the lowdown on what it is. If you don't feel like it's a good fit for you, definitely don't get it. But I would say that if you think that there may be some value here, check it out. If you don't like it, you ask for a refund. It's really that simple. That's my quick and honest pitch as best as I can give it to you. But I think you would be quite happy with all the information you're going to get. It's not a replacement for coaching or any of those kinds of things, but you're going to get a lot of things in here that even if you spent hours in coaching, you're not going to pull out. And it's something that once you have it, you're going to be able to run it for as many times as you want on your game and really, periodically check out what is changing and what's progressing or digressing in your game. So, best of luck to you, and I hope this video helped you out.